Ciao, hi, hey, hola, amigos. Ciao, hi, hey, hola. I'm just going to check. I'm live on Facebook as well, and I'm live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, as usual. And it's your boy M.K.S. back in another video, as I say. And did I say that or not? Anyway, it's a new month as well. It's May, so as I put in the description, may you all be well, come what may, and all that kind of thing. What was it? What are the sayings? What sayings can you think of with May in them? But yeah, may all be well. Come what may, hopefully everything will be okay. I don't know if I got that saying right. But anyway, it's a new month, and I thought I'd talk about my plans for the month. Um, I know in April, as per usual, I didn't get around to all my plans, but for April, May, and June, I chose those 3 months. Obviously, we're in May now, but I chose these 3 months to uh, and I suppose part of August, my birth month as well. I chose them to try and empower people from across Asia, but I hope to come to that. So obviously, this month being May, I hope to do that. I was struggling to think of ideas, so I decided to go for a walk and come back refreshed. Also, the sky went a bit blue for once, so I thought I'd strike the iron while it's hot, or whatever the saying is. It's gone a bit, it's sort of gone cloudy, then the sky's gone nice and blue, and it's gone cloudy again, and that kind of thing. So it's a bit hit and miss at the moment here in the UK. We've had some good days, to be fair. April, you normally say April showers, it rains a lot for those overseas. If you don't know these British idioms or sayings or whatever they're called. But anyway, these are pointers number 1 to 10, as per usual. So I haven't planned it out quite as well as I like, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So here goes. So number 1, as per usual, I'd love to talk about, and I'm trying to think of the month on the whole, but although it's a Friday, I normally have my alliterations and that kind of thing. But I'd love to talk about Italian football and even and Italian football and Celtic, maybe even Leicester, obviously FC where I grew up, Leicester, and the fact that it's diverse and that kind of thing. Maybe even why I like Leicester, which I suppose is just because it's diverse, really, not just because I grew up there, but mainly because it's diverse, and they're going through a rough patch, that kind of thing. I think it's quite a nice city and nice county, to be fair. Even though I'm not normally that patriotic, but just because it's really diverse, that's, I guess, as I'm not, I guess that's why it's important. But to an extent, but not as much as the Italian football and football. Celtic, I love to see the Italian national team, Italian club teams, and Celtic do really well. To an extent, Leicester and Birmingham and other places that have a lot of diversity. Like I think somewhere in Ireland, which has a lot of diversity. I think their team is called the Bohemians, maybe in Dublin or somewhere like that. But yeah, teams with a lot of diversity, although I contradicted myself being an Italian football fan. But another thing I was thinking about is that everything, I sort of, in my head, made a promise with God, to God. I don't know if God will uphold me to this promise, but I promise. One thing I promised is not to buy any notebooks without permission this year. Uh, and another thing is, I may have made that promise before and forgot about it, but as tempting as it is with my, the fetish is the right word, that sounds a bit of a wrong word, doesn't it? My fantasy about, my strange fantasy about collecting notebooks and different notebooks with different shapes, sizes, colours, and that kind of thing. And I'd love to have as many notebooks as possible. I hope to do it with permission. But another thing is that this month, I thought, because I was trying to focus on Asia last month, and I sort of got distracted with talking about autism and ADHD and that kind of thing, and empowerment of ADHDers and autistics and ADHDers and whatnot. I thought everything I cover, I want to include something about Asia and Asian empowerment, empowering people from Asia and Asian businesses around the world, but especially in Asia itself. So for instance, if I think of a list, where I normally think of my 40-point list videos and things like, 40-point list generally in terms of plans and that kind of thing, and I hope to do that. And not each pointer I cover will include Asia, but I hope to include Asia in at least 1 or 2 pointers. So everything I include, I hope to cover something about it. So for instance, with Italian football, it's the Italian football doing tours of Asia, fundraising for Asia, that kind of thing. Similar with Celtic, Leicester, Birmingham, and other teams with a lot of diversity. I was going to Google it. I hope to Google after this, like how many Asians are in Birmingham and that kind of thing. Yeah, moving on that note, point number 2, I'd love to find out facts about Asia. again, think about, because it's Friday, like Facts Asia, facts, stats, knowledge and general info about Asia and from Asia, and what the world can learn from Asia, what Asian nations can learn from each other and the rest of the world, and things like that. I'm trying not to stick too much to words that begin with F, just because it's a Friday, like football, farming, food, and that kind of thing. But yeah, throughout the month, I suppose I probably shouldn't cover everything in just a short amount of time, but spread it out over the month, because I don't want to overwhelm people. As per usual, I failed at keeping this video nice and short, I think. But moving on, number 3 on that note, what I'd love to promote libertarianism across Asia, and I'd love to know from people from Asia itself and those of an Asian background, like, what does freedom mean to them? Anyone from Asia, Andrew, or from an Asian background, please let me know what freedom means to you. I know I have some controversial views about freedom. For instance, I'm not, although I'm a dole weller, I eat unemployed and on benefits and that kind of thing, unfortunately. It's a difficult one, because I don't really want a job, and I don't want to break the law, and I don't want to be a dole weller either, but I was hoping to make money, for instance, on YouTube and that kind of thing, hopefully enjoy it. Obviously I'm too fat to be, and old to be a footballer. But yeah, I hope to make this enough money to live on, really. But I love for people to be charitable, but I want people to be as free as possible. So I do believe in lower taxes, as low taxes as possible. Controversial one. People might say, for a dole weller, why would you think that? I don't feel comfortable forcing people to do things they don't want to. I always want to give people choices, and I'd love for Asia to be as free as possible. I'd love to promote, I'd say, libertarianism across Asia somehow. Some might say good luck with that. Number 4, another thing is, and again, I'm trying to break free of my habit of, amongst other habits, of like, say, for instance, as it's a Friday thing, and things that begin with F, like football. I'm using this mug because it's green and white, just like Celtic. Need to find some that remind me of Italian football as well. I think there are a few that do. But yeah, I'd love to promote peace across Asia, especially, again, on certain days. I probably will stick to certain themes, but for these videos, for today, these hopefully get around to all 4 parts, I hope. I hope to think about my plans for the month, and I suppose just work on them daily for the rest of this month. I can't remember if it's 30 or 31 days this month. I'll have to look at the calendar again. And on that note, also trying to work on my diary, get motivated to write. I keep trying to between, like, making videos and writing, and then being indecisive and that kind of thing, leading to procrastination. I struggle to decide which one to do, but I hope to make decisions and just get on with things. As some would say, perfectionism is the enemy of progress, or wanting things to be ideal, wanting things to be just so, it doesn't work that way. And any action is better than none, I guess, to an extent. Sorry. Oh, God. Oh. Sorry about that. Sorry, technical issues. I was trying to put the phone down there. Sorry about that. Going to be always phoning at the most inconvenient time. Anyway, but yeah, I'd love to promote peace across Asia. I think I said that one. Sorry. So yeah, somehow get Asia to be united, and Asians around the world. Again, some people might say good luck with that, but as much as possible. And I think it's like if you plant a seed, like, the seeds of division have been sowed, but if you plant seeds of unification. Oh my God. Sorry, I'll find a way to turn this thing off. If you find, sometimes I like to put my phone away and just, like, ignore it for a day or something like that. But yeah, if you find seeds of unity and togetherness and that kind of thing, and instead of this is ridiculous. Sorry, I really do struggle to put that. I know how to turn the screen off, but I struggle to turn it off. You think they get the message by now, but anyway. But yeah, planting the seeds of unity, talking about Asia, as I say. Number 5, I'd love to find out from Asians about their ambitions, aims, objectives, ambitions, and whatnot. I know I do repeat things quite a lot, but I suppose those are important points to me. As I say, I'd love to find out facts about Asia, stats, knowledge and info, and all that kind of thing about Asia, and Asian ambition. I love for Asians to find these videos, share them with each other and whatnot, and people of Asian descent around the world and from Asia itself to get involved in discussing like aims, objectives, and whatnot, like Asian organisations, promoting them, like Asian businesses, entrepreneurs, and that kind of thing, and supporting Asia financially. Number 6, as I say, I do want to talk about a few things like Tanful, but again, I'm hoping, and I guess I was saying, I hope I didn't promise to God and myself, I guess, that most importantly to God, that I'm not that hugely religious, but I do believe in God out of fear rather than hope. But I hope that I didn't make a promise that everything I cover will include at least a bit about Asia. But I think that each list, as many things as possible, to the best of my ability anyway, I hope to include something about Asian empowerment that's empowering, even from the poorest people, but all the way even up to the richest people. Tackling poverty across Asia, promoting animal rights, and things like that. I again hope to talk about football, Italian teams like the national team, Fiorentina. Yes, you're already the Italian national team, Fiorentina, Frosinone, Roma, and other Italian teams, and how to improve Italian football at club and country level. And tying it into Asia, like I dream that, I think I mentioned it's important number 1, but I dream that, the saying goes, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, one better way, wouldn't it? In other words, achieve 2 or more objectives, at the same time. So I'd love to see how Asians can invest into, sponsor, and maybe even donate to, but mainly invest into and sponsor. I doubt that they donate to, but invest into and sponsor Italian football teams, and at the same time, hopefully Italian football can benefit them by improving their PR, like promoting Asian businesses. So if I was thinking, like, for instance, when I was in the bath, I think I was thinking about, like, if maybe it was just before or after. Anyway, I was thinking, like, if Fiorentina, I think it was when I was getting dry. Sorry. If sorry, it was if which one was I thinking of? I was thinking of, like, if Tata and Toyota invest into Torino, for instance. Hopefully, Torino will benefit from having more investment, sponsorship, training opportunities, being able to practice more, and that kind of thing. And even hopefully, those Asian nations will benefit from developing their own football, but also they'll develop their economies. So hopefully, Tata and Toyota would benefit by increased PR and more people finding out about them and that kind of thing, promoting their businesses and that kind of thing. There was another one, but I couldn't quite. Oh yeah, so for instance, if Reliance Industries invest in Roma, but yeah, hopefully, like teams like Roma, Torino, and all the other teams would benefit, and also Asian nations would benefit their companies and their countries and their economies and that kind of thing. So again, trying to break from my patterns, but they'll benefit financially, and like Italian football could do fundraisers for Asian entrepreneurs. They could do like YouTube matches where Italian teams tour Asia and vice versa. Hopefully that would benefit Asian tourism, the tourism industries, but at the same time, hopefully it would mean that they would fundraise as well for those businesses and practice, especially at youth level. So again, benefiting especially Italian football, but also Asian football and Asian economies. I couldn't think of one that, again, thinking about being Friday, I couldn't think of one that begins with F, a company that begins with F from Asia that could invest into Fiorentina, Anstrick, or Frosinone. But moving on, number 7, again, similar with Celtic, I'd love for them to fundraise more for projects benefiting people from Asia in April, May, June, and August, or at least some of August. And hopefully Asians working together can make their life easier. Number 8, again, hope they limit hate and talk about positive things about Asia. I think it'd be interesting if Asia in the future, preferably ASAP, like they said positive things about each of them and build like an Asian pride and that kind of thing. So united together as much as possible as a continent and Asians around the world, even though I'm only half Asian myself. Number 9, I'd love to be able to get my ideas on paper. Today, as usual, I wanted to get up and write whatever ideas come to mind, write my plans for the day, and that kind of thing on loose paper, refill paper, which I talked about recently, but I still didn't quite manage to do it. I went to this coffee morning, tea morning for me, warm back as they call it, the Catholic Church as it happens, but you don't have to be religious. I'm not that religious, I'll say, but So if you had to be British, I wouldn't be there. But I think in a church it often puts people off. But I didn't realise they had a funeral on today. So it's a bit morbid. But I went there and I didn't realise because I hadn't been for a while. So I actually went there just to show them I'm still alive. Again, a bit morbid. But yeah, I'd love to be able to get my ideas onto paper and decide what to write and be proactive, make better decisions, be more decisive, basically, and make some decisions, as I say, at least rather than none. Which I suppose I have done by making these videos and doing a bit of writing, but I'd love to, as I say, get my ideas onto paper. Problem is, with me, I need to see an end goal before I take something on, and sometimes you have to try things and see what works and what doesn't, I guess. But I'd love to know what you think. But yeah, I'd love to get my ideas onto paper, write whatever comes to my mind, talk about my ideas for my paperwork, and be more clear on my vision, and like what I call 112 ownership, and things like that. And number 10, I'd love to empower young people from across Asia. But again, going back to football, again, at least one point in each video I make this month, all being well, and for everything I write, I hope to include something about Asian empowerment, like promoting Asian businesses, tackling poverty across Asia, promoting animal rights across Asia, and of course stuff like that. And but with Italian football and Celtic actually, and maybe even to an extent Leicester, LCFC, and also Birmingham, maybe as I say, I would love for them, especially at youth level, to go and travel to parts of Asia as well as around the world, but again including something to do with Asia, as it's the most populous continent as well, and hopefully practice. So I hope they'll benefit, as I say, Italian football and Celtic especially, and also to an extent, as I say, Leicester, Birmingham, and also Asian football teams, but especially Asian economies. And as ever, I'd love to know how you think I did. I know I do waffle, so I do struggle to keep my videos nice and short and sweet. And if I knew how to turn my phone off, I would have done that. So apologies about those disruptions. One is a man show going live. Anyway, on that note, I'm out, and peace and love. May your month go well.